I'd like to read you a verse out of Ephesians. This is Ephesians chapter 4, verse 15 and 16. Paul says, "Rather, speaking the truth in love, we are to grow up in every way into him who is the head, into Christ, from whom the whole body, joined and held together by every joint with which it is equipped, when each part is working properly, makes the body grow so that it builds itself up in love." He makes the whole body join together, and when it's equipped and working correctly, it builds itself up in love. This is an important passage where Paul is talking about the structure of the church and how does body life work. And the whole point is that we are growing ourselves up, not as individuals, but we're growing ourselves up as a body together into the fullness and into the stature of Christ, and that we would be building ourselves up in love. We are at some very exciting times in Mountain View's history where we have lots and lots of new people joining us. We're a couple of years out from COVID, and we've had a lot of our own folks returning back to church as well. And as our ministry has grown, so has our need for participation. But I believe the current generation is actually hungry and looking for a place to plug in. I know this is true of myself. Even before I was a pastor, I would go visit the church, and one of my first questions that once I got through the theological stuff was to go, okay, where do I fit in? What's my role here? And so I want to talk with you for a few minutes about a few openings that we currently have. Probably by the time you see this, or if you watch this video later or read this email later, these will probably have changed, but I'm sure that there will still be a need and a place for you to serve. My heart as a pastor and as a mobilizer is I want to help people understand what is their spiritual gift. What has God empowered you supernaturally to do? How has he wired you? How has he made you? And then number two is, where does that gift fit into the whole body life? And so as part of this video and this email, we're going to be sending out a ministry interest survey, which will allow you to kind of select areas that you're interested in serving. Whether you're a member, whether you're a longtime visitor, whether you're brand new to Mountain View, if this is a place that you consider home and that you're wanting to plug in, we have lots of different levels where you can plug in and you can serve and you can be part of that one body growing itself together in love. Let's take a look. So we're going to start with our children's team. These are our various ministry opportunities. And so we have five. I put one little post-it note for each available opportunity. So we have a need for 5 different Sunday school helpers. We have a need for a second grade Sunday school teacher. This is in the first service hour on the second and fourth Sunday. So very, very specific timing, but it's also kind of a limited amount that you have to serve. So well thought out by our children's team. We have a need for 3 substitute Sunday school teachers. This just allows our current teachers and our current staff to have a bit of a break here and there, or when they're sick or on vacation. It just allows them to be able to make that happen. And then the children's team would love to have one person per Sunday join them in prayer over the ministry that's happening down there. And so there's a need for 4 people to serve on that ministry team to do prayer. Currently, right now, we are not able to offer children's services beyond just nursery in our second service, and it simply comes down to a volunteer need that we have. And so if this is where God has gifted you, we hope that you will consider talking with Andrea and the children's team and consider serving there. Next, we can look at worship. This would be Steve Croyle's department. He has a couple of needs. Again, there's probably more that he could have put up here. So if you have a need, or if you have an interest that's not listed here, sit down and talk with Steve. I'm sure he'd be interested in helping you find a way to serve through worship ministries. Steve would love to have another electric guitarist and another drummer, just to allow our current team members a break here and there. So if you have drumming skills, or if if you're a shredder on the guitar, just talk with Steve. We also have a need for an extra sound tech and extra media tech. These are the guys in the sound booth. We don't really think about them a lot because they're back there and they do a great job and everything just ticks along. Feels like by magic, but that's not by magic. It's by a team of people who are operating our our online service, and we're operating all the electronics for the in-house. And so if you are a bit of a techie and would like to serve there's some great opportunities, and that will minister to a lot of people. Next, we can look at our youth department. This falls under Josh and Sarah Mangum, and they're both very organized. So these are cordoned off into small, bite-sized pieces. So if you only have a little bit of time and it's very specific, you might be able to find something that fits with your need here. And so the first of these is they need one person to do childcare for the first Tuesday of each month. They need 4 adult leaders to help lead the 12th grade girls small group, the 9th and 10th grade girls small group, the 9th and 10th grade boys small group, and the 7th and 8th grade boys small group. So this happens on Tuesday nights. That's what they're looking for there. And then they need 2 volunteers to help set up and tear down on the first Tuesday of the month, and then 2 volunteers to help set up and tear down on the second Tuesday of the month. And so if you are not interested in a teaching leading role, but just want a place where you can serve, or maybe you're looking to buff up a little bit, you can come help set up and tear down. Finally, this moves us into our hospitality team. And the hospitality team does a number of things, everything from our kitchen and kitchen work there, all the way to our greeting team and the people who just move stuff in and out and help set up for events or for Sunday. And so we're trying to help kind of bolster that team in a couple different regards. First and foremost, we need a kitchen team leader. On a bit of a sad note, and just a kind of memorial here, since Kathy Boffman passed away a couple of years ago, this position has been dormant, has been available, and so we're looking for someone who would take on that role and be the team leader. There's a team in place, a great team of helpers, and they've really kept everything going in the interim, but we definitely need someone who will kind of be the centralizing figure there. And so if you have that interest, just let us know. You can come talk to somebody in the office. And then we have a need for about 6 different greeters. More would be better. You don't have to know a whole lot. You don't have to be a member of Mountain View to be a greeter. If you're here and you're glad to be here and you want to welcome other people here, we'd love to have you be on our greeter team. You'll talk to Dan Olson about that, and he will help get you ready and help you know what to do. And then finally, one of the things that we used to have that went away during COVID is we used to have a team of people who would help set up the sanctuary. And so this essentially allowed people who were using it midweek to not have to pick up the chairs and rearrange everything. They could just kind of set it up for their own needs and then clean up after themselves. And so essentially this team would organize stacking the chairs on Sunday after the service, and then just making sure they're set back up the following week. And so we're looking for 6 to 8 people who would be willing to help out with this one time a month. And so whether it's service, teaching, leading, organizing, whatever your spiritual gift is, we would love to help you find a place where you can serve. And these are some of our present needs. So if any of this has piqued your interest, or maybe you have something on your heart that you want to come talk to us about it, please come talk with somebody here. We'd love to hear about that.